Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to show you guys how to draw the Nasutoceratops. If you don't know what the Nasutoceratops is, it was a ceratopsian, so a kind of like a horned dinosaur with a frill, that was featured in the short movie of Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock. And so yeah, if you don't know about Battle at Big Rock, go check it out. Just search for Battle at Big Rock and I'm sure you'll find it. And yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool short movie. And I figured that a lot of you guys would want to draw this dinosaur but don't know how. So I'm gonna try and show you how to draw it as best as I can. Right, so we're gonna start with a shape like this. Just draw a simple shape like this, because this is gonna be his face, sort of. And then you want to draw like a little area that goes up like this. His eye will be somewhere around here, and then we want to draw a cylinder shaped thing right here like this, and just connect these two to each other. And then you want to go up like this, and then create something like this. But you do want to make sure that this will, it has to go a little more like this over here, and this will go almost to the top of it, and then you go down like that a little bit, and then from here you go up again this, and then you just create the frill just by applying simple shapes, nothing more than that, just regular simple shapes. Now you can start drawing his jaw right here, but we don't want to go into this too far just yet. And by the way, his eye should be a little bit more in front, like over there somewhere. Alright, so now we want to create the strange looking nose that he has. And then just shapes like this. So now we have the basics of the dinosaur already done. And now we can focus on well, maybe I was right with the position of his eye. It's really strange, this dinosaur, to be honest. So we're just gonna wait until we've pretty much done everything else, and then we're gonna focus on how to draw his eye and stuff. Maybe no, I'm just gonna keep it like this. And now we want to draw in his horns, which are quite strange. So I'm just gonna show it. So these are all of my filled sketches. So I'm just gonna show it from an angle from the side. So this is gonna be his nose, and then we will have an area like this and an area like this. This is where his horns will attach, and then this is where the frill goes. Something like that. Alright, so his eye will be positioned here, and then his horns are almost like the horns of a bull. Very strange looking horns, in my opinion. And from a different angle, they look like this. So what happens is they come out of his skull like this, and then they go like this, and then they go like that. Very, very strange. And on this side is exactly the same, but just the opposite side. So yeah, that's the basics of how the horns work in his face. So now let's try and draw the horns in. It's not gonna be easy. Draw a shape like this, and then make it go just over his nose a little bit, and then go all the way back. And over here it's gonna be very thick, like that. And then for this one, just do the same thing. Make it very thick over here. So I'll just go back, and because this horn is a little bit too long, so like I said, this is going to be a very hard area, especially for people that just started with drawing. I'll just do it like this. This looks a little bit better. Alright, so now for his eye will be just about right there. So that's gonna be the area for his eye. And then he has a kind of something that looks a lot like a beak. Like that. And then you draw a area for where his nostril will be. So it will be, just draw a shape like this, and then his nostril will be over here, just the edge. Very oddly shaped, I must say, but that's the way it is. And I would say, let's get his eye just a tiny little bit closer. Just about over there would be fine, I think. And just draw it in like this. Alright, so now for this area, I want to draw something like this. And that's gonna be the hole in his grill. And erase the unnecessary lines over there so that it will look a little bit better. And over here as well. But it's just that you can't see too much of it. Alright, and now just round off the edges. Except for this one. This one we want to keep. Now we can draw in a neck that will attach to a body with his chest over there, and let's say that over here his neck would go like this. There's a very thick neck and a body like this, so he will have sort of like a body that goes like this. His tail we will have his tail in kind of a strange shape like that. Alright, so over here we will make his forearms. So just draw shapes like this, and then you draw shapes like this and like this. So yeah, this could be a very hard area for people that aren't too good at drawing. So this video is definitely not for people that just started drawing and stuff. This might be for the more advanced people. Alright, and now we want to draw in his hind leg. So this leg is sort of facing us. So by the way, we are drawing it in a perspective in which the head will be bigger than the rest of his body. Well, not everything, but I mean a part of his body. I mean his head will be a little bit bigger than it would be in a normal drawing, because he is sort of facing us a little bit. So we do have to pay attention to the fact that his body will be a little bit shorter, his legs will have different positions. So again, I'm gonna show it to you on the back side of my paper. So if you would have normal ceratopsian leg, you would have something that looks like this. So this would be a normal leg from the side perspective, but now we are drawing it in a different kind of perspective. So it will look a little bit different. So this would be the normal leg. So it is kind of turning around like this. If you know what I mean. So we are looking at it at an angle like this. So what we are seeing is this area of his leg, like this. Well, maybe a little bit thinner as well, because we're looking at it at this angle. So it's going to be a little bit thinner, and then we can partly see his shin over here. So it's going to be a little bit shorter, like this. It's not going to be as long as this, it's just going to be a little bit shorter, and then we will see his leg like this. I mean his ankle and everything going like this, and this is going to be a little bit broader because of all the toes, and they are kind of spread out. If you know what I'm trying to say. And then over here would be his knee, this area, and normally his knee would be over there at that area. So you do have to pay attention to this fact. I hope I didn't smudge any graphite on. Alright. So we are gonna draw that exact same leg. So yeah, it's gonna be at a different angle than normal, and because of that we see a shape like that. And there is his belly, and then over here we don't see his leg facing. Alright, I'm really sorry. I'll explain it as good as I can. So normally when you would look at the dinosaur, so this would be the hip area, this would be the area where his front limbs would be. So normally you would see his front limbs bend like this. Alright, but now because this one is at a different angle, they are kind of well, let's say that I'm looking at it from the front. Alright, so then his legs would be kind of looking like this. They go outwards from his body, and then over here like this, and then he will have the front foot. It would look kind of like this. I mean, it's I exaggerated a little bit, but kind of like this. So when you're looking at it from a different angle like this, you would see this one going the opposite way, and that's exactly what's happening over here. So I can't just draw a shape like this, otherwise it will just look like his body is compressed, and it will look like his legs would be going like this. and that's just a little bit too yeah, you know what I mean. So this one will be going out a little bit, and then he will go back down like this, and then over here we will have the other foot, kind of like that, because yeah, it's all about the perspective and the angle that you are looking at it. That's really important in this drawing. So for this one, for this hind leg on the other side, it would be over here. And it would be going like this, maybe even a little bit, well actually it could be a little bit lower. It would be going like this, and it would be going like this, so we won't really see too much of it. Just this, that's all that we're gonna see from the other hind leg. Maybe a little bit more like this. Now we can finish up the tail, and I want the tail to be a little bit more like this. So I'm just changing it a little bit. And he does not have a very long tail, but I decided to go with a tail like this. Maybe it should be a little bit shorter as well, but I think this will be fine, just for this drawing. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go over it with the darker pencil. Well, that's the mistake that I always make. I'm not gonna go over it with a darker pencil, I'm gonna go over it with a finer pencil, so the lines will be much darker. What you could do is just go over it with a darker pencil. Even with a pen would be fine. It doesn't really matter which color you use, as long as the lines are clean and well, ready to get some detail in. So I'll be back when that's done. Alright, so I'm back. I made everything look a little bit darker, and now it's time to get some actual detail in. So I left a couple of parts a little bit lighter because there are supposed to be a little bit more detail on it, and I also adjusted this just by a tiny bit. So erase unnecessary lines like so. So yeah, for example, on the feet I didn't draw in the toes because I wanted to show you guys how to do that and how to make it look actually good. And also this area I believe it's supposed to be shaped tiny little bit different. So normally when I start a video, I say that don't draw too dark because you will have to erase a lot of times. Well, sometimes. I mean, if you're really trying to improve and you're trying to learn how to get better at drawing, you will have a lot of situations in which you will have to erase a lot. And if you have very dark lines already at the start and you're gonna erase those, you will never be able to erase those completely and it will just look silly. So I'll just erase this area a tiny bit, because what I believe is that this area is supposed to look a little bit more like this. It has a little bit of a wider angle like that, and from here on it would be fine. So now what we want to do is we want to draw some triangular shape spikes on top of his frill. Make sure there's a little bit of space between each one, and the closer you get to the screen, to your camera or whatever you want to prefer to it, to your eyes, the closer it gets to you, the bigger the spikes get. Alright, so now what you want to do is, in between those spikes, create a incline a little bit, like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, it's just to get a little bit more detail in. So over here we have a couple of them, but that's about all you can see of the other side. So now what we want to do is we want to draw a little bit of shadow in between these areas, just a tiny little bit, and you want to make sure that they go inwards. So make sure you have a point, and you could go with your lighter pencil and make very light lines that go directly to that line in the middle, because every single bit of shadow that you will create has to go towards that line, and that's just the rule, because otherwise it will just look a little bit off. So if you have a lot of shadow that goes randomly everywhere, it won't look like shadow, it will just look like random lines, and that's not what we are aiming for right now. I'm just making it a little darker. And you could take your time for this. You don't have to rush this, because this could be pretty important for the better drawing, so the drawing will look better at the end. This is just a little added detail that will make the drawing look good later on. So something like that would be fine. And now you have to go back and get this shape in a little darker. Something like that. And on the other side as well. But this side will just look like this. That will be fine. Alright, so that's it for his head for now. Or actually we could go for a little bit of shadow in between the this area, this shape over here. And what you want to do is you want to draw a little bit of shadow on the what's it called? On this shape, let's say like that, and there's going to be a little bit of cast shadow as well over there, and then there will be just a tiny little bit of cast shadow over here and over here as well. So here is going to be his eyebrow. His eye should be placed a little bit further back, but I think this is about fine. I mean, it's very hard to draw it, and I mean, the fact that makes it hard to draw is I want to make his eye visible, but at the same time I want to make it accurate. But at this pose, it's really hard to not get the eye behind the horn, and yeah, I mean, I have tons of sketches right here, and there are a lot where I did film and there are a lot where I didn't, but I decided to go with this particular pose. So yeah, alright, so we want to have a little bit of shadow there as well, and just maybe a little bit more detail. And underneath his eye would be a little shadow as well, and then we will have a bone structure over here as well. A little shadow underneath there. And we will have a lot of random vertical lines over here. So we'll just leave the head alone for a bit. Oh, I could make that a little bit better. And this as well. Alright, so like I said, now we're going to leave the head alone and we're going to focus on doing the feet. So what you want to do now is you want to, well, on his front feet he has, they're almost like hands. I think he has 4 toes. So that's going to be 1 toe right there, 1 toe right there, and 1 toe right there. So the other one will be somewhere behind over there. Over here it's going to be kind of the same way. We will have one right here and one right here. And for the back foot, we will have 3 toes. So it's going to be 1 toe here, 1 toe here, and 1 toe here. And the way you draw it is just draw a shape like this, and then you attach some padding, I would say. I think they are almost like padding underneath every toe. And you want to make the toes go a little bit further up as well. I mean the line where you can see that there is that they are 2 separate toes. And maybe we would be able to see part of the other one right there. I think that would be really okay. and we will only be able to see 2 from this foot. Maybe, well, let's we could draw 3 and erase this one. Something like this. One, 2, 3. Alright, something like that. And I know that they look kind of off, but I'm not really good at drawing ceratopsian feet, so it will look a little bit strange. Let's say it like that. Because I'm not really using any reference, I'm just drawing all of this from my head. Because I'm also trying to improve on drawing things from my head. And with things, I mean especially dinosaurs, of course. He will have 3 toes on his back foot, hind leg, alright, something like this. And you won't be able to see anything. Maybe 1 toe over here, and that's gonna be all. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm erasing this. I'm really not happy with the way this looks, and I wanna create the other toe as well. Like that looks a lot better. Alright, I'm really not happy with the way this looks, but we'll have to deal with it for now. So now, what we need to do is, I just can't stand this one, I'll just keep it like this, I guess. And maybe we'll draw this one a little bit more like this. Alright, that's a little bit better, in my opinion. I'll just keep it like this. That's a lot better. Alright, so now we will have to figure out where the shadow is going to come from. So normally what I like to do is make the shadow come from over here. I mean, make the light source come from over there, not the shadow. And that will that way we will be able to give it a very nice shadow effect. So that means that everything will be darkened quite a lot. A lot like this. So that's just for his horns. And over here we will have his cheeks shooting out a little bit. So that will cast a lot of shadow. And of course the underside of this will be pretty much darkened. Over here as well, this is going to be a cast shadow of the whole thrill on the dinosaur itself, obviously. But you will not be able to see too much of it. We'll just see a shadow like that in between every single spike. It's gonna be the only cast shadow that we will be able to see.
Hey guys, so yeah, this video was about 1 hour long, so I decided to do the shadowing phase in time-lapse, and that's why you're seeing some time-lapse right now. I mean, I really wanted to do this in a tutorial version, but it would just the video was like 1 hour long, so I had to make it a little bit shorter, so that's why. So I'll just explain what I'm doing. So I'm just now finding the muscles and putting more shadow behind his leg than there's gonna be in front. So the area of his leg that is facing the light source head on will have a lot of highlight on it, but the area of the leg that is more at the back will be a lot darker here. So that's what you're seeing right now. I'm just doing just darkening a lot of muscles, and well, you could just try and pause the video whenever I draw in a leg. I mean, do the shadow on a leg. You could just pause the video and try and copy it, and you could do the same thing over and over with every single area of the drawing, and that way you will be able to have the same kind of effect. The drawing will look a lot like mine. So yeah, I'm still just working on the legs. I didn't really put in the area where I did have I put in a lot more cast shadow on his back from the thrill, because the sun was shining on it and it would cast a lot of shadow on the thrill, as well as on well, at the transition of his upper arm and his lower arm, you will have a lot more cast shadow, as you can see right here, and on the underside of every limb there will also be a lot of shadow. So yeah, I'll just leave you guys to it, because there's not really too much to say at this point. It's just yeah, you'll just have to watch how everything is done. So yeah, I'll just say to you guys, enjoy the video, and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss a single video. So this was Dinosaur Drawer, and enjoy the rest of the video.